Fort Meade, Maryland, 1978. Inside a secure windowless room, a man named Joseph McMonigle is lying on a cot. He is not a prisoner. He is a sergeant in the U.S. Army. An officer hands him a sealed envelope. Inside is a set of random geographic coordinates. The officer speaks one word: target. McMonigle doesn't look at a map. He doesn't look at a satellite photo. He simply closes his eyes and projects his mind halfway across the world. He starts drawing. He sketches a massive building. He draws a crane. He describes the smell of welding. 2 weeks later, a spy satellite passes over those exact coordinates in the Soviet Union. The photos come back. The building is there. The crane is there. The sergeant was right. Welcome to Shadow Works. Today we are opening the file on Project Stargate, the 20-year secret program where the U.S. government tried to turn witchcraft into a weapon. In the early 1970s, the CIA was in a panic, but not about nukes or tanks. They were panicking about magic. Intelligence reports claimed the Soviet Union was spending millions researching psychotronics, mind control, and telepathy. The CIA was terrified of a Sezi gap. If the Soviets could read the president's mind, the war was over. So the U.S. decided to fight fire with fire. They didn't call it magic, though. They gave it a scientific name: remote viewing. The CIA contracted the Stanford Research Institute to test supposed psychics. 2 men stood out: Ingo Swann, an artist, and Pat Price, a retired police commissioner. The tests were simple. A scientist would hide an object in a box or drive to a random location. The viewer had to describe it. The results were disturbing. They weren't always right, but when they were right, they were impossibly accurate. The turning point came in 1974. The CIA gave Pat Price a set of coordinates for a secret Soviet R&D facility in Semipalatinsk. Price closed his eyes. He described a massive, peculiar sphere. He described people in lab coats. And then he described a giant crane specifically, a gantry crane with 4 legs. The CIA analysts laughed. They said, "We have photos of that base. There is no crane there." But Price insisted. "I am seeing a crane." 3 days later, new satellite photos arrived. The analysts went pale. Someone had moved a massive gantry crane out of a hangar. It had been hidden inside when the first photos were taken.